Food is arguably one of the most important aspects of our lives. When I think of food, I think of home. Sunday night macaroni dinners, tables surrounded with my family members talking over one another, and laughter filling the room. Food is a knack for pulling us together, allowing memories and traditions to be created. My family came to the United States from Roseto and Calabria, two southern Italian towns, and they also traveled here from parts of Sicily. In Italy, they grew up on the land, growing their own tomatoes, catching their own fish, baking their own bread. Southern Italians were dirt poor, and they had no other choice but to connect with the land in which they lived on and the food which they ate and produced. These customs traveled here. My grandfather currently still grows tomatoes and countless other types of produce. Each summer we gather together to can our own tomatoes for pasta sauce and preserve them for the winter months that come. Each Christmas, we eat 7 fishes to bring us luck for the new year, a sacred Italian tradition. Food allows us to keep alive the traditions and memories that families create. My ancestors brought over these customs nearly 100 years ago, and we are still enforcing them today. Food is not only important to Italians. Love for food in the Jewish culture is a passion and way of life. It is a unique synthesis of cooking styles from the many places that Jews have lived throughout the centuries that is categorized by a number of dietary constraints. Food shows influence of Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, Spanish, German, and Eastern European cooking styles. Natalie's family follows these dietary constraints, such as not mixing milk and meat. They cook fresh eggplant parmesan, roasted vegetables, risotto, as well as pasta and other dishes, such as fish, that reflect a Mediterranean diet. Her family is conspicuous on where they get their food and usually travel to a local farmer's market called Tanner's and also get their meat from a local kosher deli. In our hometowns, we are able to consume fresh, local, and healthy food because the accessibility to these outlets is so obtainable for not only us and our families, but for our neighbors and friends.
My name is Gabriel Fellis. I'm one of the owners and manager at Ventura. We've been here for around 7 months. So when we're getting fresh and local ingredients, there's like number one goal for every restaurant. So every restaurant in the city tries and strives to get all the ingredients like as local as possible, as fresh as possible, and know exactly the source of every single one of their ingredients. In the city, it's not as feasible just because of our surroundings and where we are. Every restaurant tries to emulate smaller restaurants out in the suburbs or restaurants closer to the sources, closer to farms and closer to the oceans and waterways and all that stuff. But it's not totally possible in the middle of the city. We get most of our food ingredients from one local warehouse that kind of acts as a vendor between the restaurants and all of the local farms and fishmongers and all of the local sources. So that's where we get most of our stuff. We try and get them as fresh and in season as possible, but again, it's not always totally feasible in the middle of the city.
Another Philadelphia restaurant we looked at goes by the name Mix, managed by Victor Fellis. When interviewed, Mr. Fellis said, "I have been in the food business for 15 years. I have owned 5 restaurants and I really enjoy working with people in the food industry. We try our best to buy fresh produce for our customers. We get most of our produce and food from Lancaster County and farms and farmers markets there. I believe that our food is affordable and of good quality. I think that by having fresh products, this equals to having fresh food. Also, when you are busy and doing well in your business, you are constantly going to buy fresh foods to make sure you can keep up with the clientele and demand of restaurants. I think I got my passion from food from my mother, who is an amazing cook. I love working in the food industry because I get to interact with people on a daily basis."